It started with a carton of milk. Not a text message, not lipstick on a collar, not some dramatic hotel receipt tucked under a car seat. Just milk. Every Tuesday for nearly 8 years, our neighbor, Mr. Callahan, left a small grocery bag on our porch. Bread, eggs, sometimes fruit, and always a carton of milk. He was widowed, retired, and lonely in the quiet way older men get when their houses have too many rooms and not enough voices. My wife, Elena, used to say he was harmless. "He just likes feeling useful," she'd tell me, smiling while she carried the bag inside. I believed her. I believed a lot of things back then. The Tuesday everything began, there was no grocery bag. I noticed it because routine has a sound, a rhythm. And when something goes missing, the silence has weight. Elena didn't seem surprised. "He's probably tired," she said without looking up from her phone, but her thumb stopped moving for half a second. That was the first crack. At the time, I didn't understand it. I was just a middle school history teacher with grading papers on the kitchen table, a 10-year-old daughter named Sophie upstairs doing homework, and a marriage I thought was tired but still standing. Then Mr. Callahan's niece knocked on our door 2 days later. "He's in the hospital," she said. "He asked for you." Not us. Me. Elena's face went pale so fast I thought she might faint. I drove to the hospital alone. Mr. Callahan looked smaller than I remembered. His skin had gone thin, almost translucent, and the machines around him breathed louder than he did. When I sat beside him, he turned his head slowly. "I should have told you years ago," he whispered. My chest tightened. "Told me what?" His eyes filled with tears. "Elena, and my son." I didn't speak. The room seemed to tilt, but quietly, like the world didn't want to make a scene. "My son, Daniel," he said, "before he moved away, before your girl was born." My girl. Those 2 words hit something deep inside me. I asked him what he meant, though part of me already knew. The body sometimes understands betrayal before the mind is brave enough to name it. Mr. Callahan closed his eyes. "I found letters, photos. I confronted Daniel. He laughed, said you'd never know, said Elena had everything handled." My hands went cold. He began crying then, not loudly, just with shame leaking out of him. I kept bringing groceries because I thought, maybe if I helped the child, I could live with what my family had done. I drove home in complete silence. When I walked into the house, Elena was standing in the kitchen, waiting. Not worried, waiting. "How is he?" she asked. I looked at her face, the same face I had kissed goodnight for 12 years, and suddenly every strange moment rearranged itself. The way Mr. Callahan always looked at Sophie too long. The way Elena never liked when I joked that Sophie had my stubbornness. The way she changed the subject whenever someone said Sophie looked nothing like me. Subscribe if you think you already know where this story is going, because I didn't. That night, I didn't her. I watched. That is what betrayal teaches you first. Not anger, observation. Elena moved through the house too carefully, too sweetly. She made my favorite dinner. She touched my shoulder twice. She asked if I was okay 3 times. Performative tenderness has a smell, like perfume sprayed over smoke. After she went to bed, I opened the old storage box in the garage. Birth papers, insurance forms, hospital bracelets, photos. Then I found it. A folded card tucked behind Sophie's baby book. No signature, just 1 sentence. "She has his eyes." The next morning, I scheduled a DNA test. I told myself it was for peace. That was a lie. It was for the part of me still begging the universe to prove Mr. Callahan wrong. For 10 days, I lived beside Elena like a ghost wearing my clothes. She laughed at TV shows, packed Sophie's lunch, kissed my cheek in front of our daughter. And every time she did, I felt something inside me step farther away. When the results came, I sat in my car outside the school after dismissal, staring at the screen until the words blurred. Probability of paternity? 0%. There are moments that don't make you scream. They empty you. I went home with the printed results in my bag. Elena was in the living room folding laundry. Sophie was at a friend's house. Perfect timing. Or maybe cruel timing. I placed the papers on the coffee table. Elena looked down. Then she smiled. Not a happy smile, a survival smile. "What is this?" she asked. "You know what it is." Her hands froze around one of my shirts. For a second, the mask slipped. Fear. Real fear. Then came the performance. "Are you seriously doing this because of a dying old man?" I said nothing. She stood up, voice tightening. "He was confused. He hated Daniel. He always hated him." "Daniel is Sophie's father?" Her eyes flashed. "Don't say that." "Is he?" She looked away. That was the answer. I thought rage would come. It didn't. Only a deep, exhausted sadness. "How long were you going to let me believe she was mine?" Elena's face hardened. "You are her father." "That's not what I asked." "She needed a dad," she snapped. "Daniel wasn't stable. You were kind. You were safe." Safe. That word broke something in me. Not loved, not chosen. Safe. A reliable roof, a steady paycheck, a man easy enough to deceive because he trusted too completely. I sat down because my legs felt weak. She started crying then, but even her tears felt organized. "I made one mistake." "No," I said quietly. "A mistake is forgetting to lock the door." This was 10 years of letting me build my life on a lie. Her anger came next. "So what now? You're going to punish Sophie? Destroy this family?" There it was, the final weapon, guilt. I looked at her and realized she still thought she could steer the story. "I'm not destroying anything," I said. "I'm telling the truth." The divorce took 6 months. I didn't expose Elena publicly. I didn't scream on social media. I didn't humiliate her in front of Sophie. Quiet truth does not need a spotlight. But I gave my attorney everything. The confession from Mr. Callahan before he passed, the DNA test, the hidden card, the financial records showing Elena had quietly sent money to Daniel for years. That part hurt almost as much as the affair. She had used our household account to support the man who helped her betray me. When the truth came out in mediation, Elena stopped crying. Daniel never showed up. Of course he didn't. Men like him love the romance of betrayal, not the responsibility after it. Sophie learned the truth slowly, with a therapist, not through rage. That was the only thing I protected with everything I had. Because biology changed paperwork. It did not erase bedtime stories, scraped knees, science fair projects, or the way she still called me Dad when her voice trembled. One evening, months later, Sophie sat beside me on the porch. "Are you still my dad?" she asked. I turned toward her. "I have been your dad every day you've been alive," I said. "That doesn't stop because adults lied." She cried into my shirt like she was 6 again, and I held her. Not because Elena deserved mercy, because Sophie deserved love untouched by revenge. Elena moved into a small apartment across town. Daniel blocked her after she contacted him. The woman who once told me I was imagining distance now had nothing but distance around her. The last time I saw her, she looked tired in a way makeup couldn't hide. "I'm sorry," she said. Maybe she was. Maybe she was just lonely. I didn't ask. I had spent too many years needing answers from someone who survived by changing them. Now, every Tuesday, I buy groceries myself. Bread, eggs, fruit, and milk. Not because of Mr. Callahan, because routine can be rebuilt. Truth arrived late in my life, but it arrived clean. And in the end, manipulation lost to the one thing it always fears most: a quiet man who finally stopped believing the lie.